Hey guys, we are standing outside of Universal Studios, and Halloween Horror Nights is just around the corner. Not just like in time, I mean it's literally just inside of there. But if you're like us, you have your tickets, you have your hotel rooms, whatever you need, but planning is only half the battle. There are still so many things that you can do once you get to the event that could ruin your night. So what we're gonna do in today's video is we're gonna talk about 5 things that you have to avoid doing at this year's event. And while we're here, we might as well show you some of the updates that have been going on. There are things everywhere, so come on, let's get inside the park.
Thing that you want to avoid is before you even get into the park, and that is purchasing your tickets at the gate. If you wait to purchase your tickets, Universal is going to charge you a premium for those. This year, the gate price for single night tickets is $129.99 per person, and that's every single night. It doesn't matter what night you're coming. And HHN tickets start as low as $73.99 per person, and even on a really busy night, like opening night, which you think would be insanely busy, those tickets are still less than $85 per person. So especially if you're purchasing tickets for several people, you want to make sure you do that beforehand to save yourself a ton of money.
As we make our way down Hollywood Boulevard, where the first scare zone will be, which is Graveyard Deadly Unrest, I can't help but think about how tickets sold out last year as well. So that's just another reason that you want to get them early. I think it sold out like 10 or 11 nights last year, so almost 25% of the nights that the event ran.
Something like that.
Sold out, so if you have plans to come to the event, you might want to get those tickets before you get here.
Yeah, that would be an absolute disaster. But another problem with waiting to purchase your tickets is that time is precious at HHN, especially if you only have like one night or something like that. And if you have to get in line to buy tickets, after you do that, you're gonna have to get in line to get inside the gate. And that is gonna waste so much time that you just don't have at HHN.
I can't believe how well this scare zone is coming together. All the details are getting put out. It looks so good. I cannot wait to see it open tonight. It's gonna look fantastic.
I know, it's so much more exciting than like the original brick that was just here, because it was like just the brick, and now there's all kinds of stuff. But you know something else that I just realized about the ticket prices? So the Rush of Fear Pass for HHN, it's a multi-night ticket. It gets you into the first 17 nights of the event. It's the exact same price as the tickets, the single night tickets at the gate. It's also $130.
So you're the price person? Like I never know those things, but I didn't realize that. So yeah, if you're coming in September and you're wanting to do a couple of nights, it's definitely probably always going to be smarter to get, especially if you're going to wait till you get here.
That's crazy.
Just get the Rush of Fear for sure,
and get it ahead of time so you don't have to deal with it.
As we walk out of Hollywood Boulevard and on over here to Central Park, I can't help but think about Mel's Drive-In, and I cannot wait for it to finally turn over to Mel's Die-In. It's just like the quintessential sign that HHN is indeed here. We are beyond excited.
I can't wait. But speaking of Central Park, that is the perfect place to go talk about our next mistake, because it has to do with Stay and Scream. There's not much going on in the Scarecrow Cursed Soil Scare Zone. They do have the trusses that are up, and we fully expect some type of facade to go up eventually. There is a really cool like Day of the Dead bar over there, and the color of that bar is insane. But the next mistake that you want to make sure you avoid is not taking full advantage of Stay and Scream. If you're a little confused about what Stay and Scream is, don't worry, we do have a full beginner's guide coming out for HHN. We're hoping to get a little more updates about what houses are going to be available for Stay and Scream before we put that out, but regardless, that will be out next week. But even if you know that Stay and Scream exists and kind of how it works, a lot of people just think it's an area for you to hang out in until the event starts. But inside of each Stay and Scream area, there are some houses that you can queue up for. So you're inside the area, and then there are lines for specific houses. You want to make sure that you get in one of those lines, especially if you're short on time at the event, like if you only have one night. That can save you so much time.
We always like to compare it to basically early park admission for HHN, because not all the houses are going to be open early. They'll start opening them up at like 6 o'clock, and then the gates will open up at 6:30 for daytime guests. So it's just a way to get some houses done early. And one of the things that we like to tell people to do is we see a lot of people who have Express burning Express almost immediately. Like they stay and screen. Like you're sitting here for like an hour in the heat, and they immediately use their Express Pass. We like to use that as like an extra Express Pass.
Yes.
So Stay and Scream's our way of doing like one of the houses that we really like, because we queue up for a house that we really want to do, and then we can do it, if we have Express, we can do it again later in the night. We just use it as a way to do that house twice. So we just made it over here to San Francisco, the area that is going to be Conjuring the Dark. That's what the Scare Zone is going to be called this year. And they've done a lot of work since the last time we were in here.
Details.
They have added a lot of stuff. The last time it was just this stage, which they've added even more stuff onto, and it looks like it could have some sort of stage show on it. It's been a while since there's been a stage show in one of the Scare Zones, so I'm excited to see that. But that brings us to our next tip, which is you should avoid coming unprepared. And I know that sounds somewhat vague, because it sort of is, but one of the big things you need to be focused on and like be aware of is you don't want to show up in costume. Like we get a lot of questions about wanting to show up in like a Halloween costume or things like that, and they don't want you to do that at all. Like they're okay with you having some fun, like dressing up, having a good time. They want you to have a good time, but mask and things of that nature, you're definitely going to avoid it, because they want to make sure that you're not mistaken for a scare actor. They are completely out on that. Yeah,
and you also want to make sure that whatever you wear is completely comfortable, because it's already going to be a long night. So you want to make sure that you're wearing comfortable shoes, that your clothes aren't going to rub you or anything like that.
Yeah. Also, and this can't go understated enough, we're in Central Florida. It rains a lot, especially opening weekend. It's almost like a joke. Like a running joke at this point. It's gonna rain opening weekend.
Like a curse.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the weather forecast can say whatever it wants. It's gonna rain opening weekend, and so you always want to make sure you have like. We bring a change of socks. I wear the backpack to the parks almost every day, and it's for different stuff. Like I've got some camera equipment in there and things of that nature, but I also always have like a change of socks. I may even for opening night bring a change of shoes. So we'll have ponchos. We'll have all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
But like she was talking about earlier, the event, it's very time sensitive. So you just don't have a ton of time to be like running back to the hotel if you're here, or like having to go and change. So if you can just bring that stuff with you, carry it through the houses. They don't care if you carry bags through the houses. Yeah. We think that's the perfect way to go, because the worst thing you can do is be miserable after a long night because your feet have been wet for 4 or 5 hours. Like just don't do it to yourself.
One of the great things about Universal is that they sell all kinds of things, including rain gear. So if you forget your umbrella or your rain jacket or your poncho, you can always buy one here. Now, just like the tickets at the gate, you are gonna pay for them. They're not gonna be cheap, but if you need them, they've got them.
Man, look at how spooky is this?
It's so cool. I'm so excited to see this when it's completely dark.
And now we've made it over here to New York, which is going to be the Sweet Revenge Scare Zone. Like we said from the beginning, this one looks like it could be really, really special. I can't wait to see what's under all these tarps. There's a lot of them around. And this is that scare zone where they generally like will stuff out. Yeah. Like, so you won't ever see everything that's here until the event is actually about to start. But something that I noticed on the way over here was like all the food booths. There are a ton of food booths this year. Like all throughout the day, I've just been seeing tons of food booths.
So many.
More than I think I've ever seen at the event.
Yeah, for sure.
Which definitely brings us to our next one. Like I didn't think there was going to be a transition here, but there is, and it's to not skip out on like the extra activities. Like don't miss out on some of the extras. Like a lot of, we know HHN is about the houses.
Yes.
But there's a ton of other stuff you can do. That tip specifically is about not just focusing on the houses.
Yes.
Like I said, obviously the houses are what we're here for. I mean, like it's what we wait all year to hear about. But there's just way too many other great things. There's way too much time putting all the details, especially in like the scare zones. We've walked through 4 of the 5 scare zones, and we're going to give our last tip over there in that last scare zone. But those are worth sitting in. Like, we never feel like we have enough time.
No.
And we generally spend like 4 or 5 nights.
Yeah.
Because we just don't get to be in the scare zones and hang out as much as we'd like to.
Yes, but they are an incredible place to sit there and people watch. Like, you can kind of stand off to the side and just watch these characters come up and terrify people. It's a lot of fun. Of course, like Tyler mentioned, the food booths. I mean, that is one way that we love to spend our time.
Obviously, like
at HHN.
If you've watched this video or the channel at all, we always have food at some point. I guess we won't in this video, which is kind of an anomaly if we're going to be honest.
But there's also 2 shows at Halloween Horror Nights that you need to check out. So there's the Nightmare Fuel show, which is going to be back in the Fear Factor Stadium, and then there's also the Lagoon show.
Yeah, so it'll be ghoulish this year.
Yeah, those are fantastic. Like, there's just so many things that you don't want to miss out on.
Yeah, and so back in 2019, we refer to that one a lot, but that was where we really learned the lesson because of the Lagoon show.
Yeah.
So that was the first Marathon of Mayhem. Honestly, it's my favorite thing that's ever been at the event.
I knew you were going to bring it up.
I watch it at least once a month, and Anna can back me up on it. I'm going to be honest, we made a slight mistake. I didn't realize that there weren't lights up in the scare zone in Production Central, so that's going to be Horrors of Halloween.
Yes.
I had no clue that they didn't have anything going on
Real dark.
in there as far as the lights go, but it is going to be cool lit up. Like, I'm excited to see it because it looks great.
All those pumpkins.
Yeah, like I knew we both love pumpkins. So, but I'm hoping that they have like all of them have lights inside of them.
Yes, I hope they're lit up too.
I'm assuming they do. And then of course, little Boo is right there. What I think would be funny with him is that they put like 3,000 lumens in it, and just like he's just so bright, like you can't look directly. Like they give you glasses, they're like don't look directly at it. So like the Eclipse, they're like don't look directly at little Boo, like it'll blind you. But the last mistake is not putting enough lights in little Boo. No, it's judging a house before you go into it. So we've been guilty of that in the past as well. There's a lot of houses at this year's event that we have heard mixed reviews on.
Yeah.
Like, and people haven't even went in it.
Yeah.
And what we can say to that is there's some houses that in years past that we weren't exactly excited for the house. But it ended up being one of our favorite houses that we've ever been in. So just don't judge them. There's a lot of work and detail that go into these houses, and you should really give them all a chance. Like, we're not saying to do anything that you're uncomfortable with. Like, if you know that you're not going to enjoy a house and like you're uncomfortable with the concept or anything like that, definitely don't do it. But if you're not wanting to go into it because you don't like necessarily like the theming of it or something like that, don't make that mistake. We've made that mistake before and we really regret it.
At this point, Universal has only released a few sentences about each of the houses, and people already have strong opinions about them. Just make sure that you give it a chance. Like Tyler said, don't push your boundaries. I am going to push mine a little bit this year with the Bug House, but I'm doing that on my own accord. I'm not excited about the Bug House, but I'm still going to go into it with an open mind, and who knows, I could end up loving it.
I can't believe in less than 2 weeks, the medallion will be up, the event will be started, and we will be inside of the parks for Halloween Horror Nights. Be sure to stay tuned because we have a lot of great things planned for this year's event. We have a lot of videos that we are excited to put out. But with that, thank you for hanging out tonight. Leave us a comment in the comment section and let us know if there's any questions you want answered in that big beginner's guide video.
If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. You can hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell notification so you get an alert every time we post a new video.
Thanks for watching.